Today, using some knit fabric, pins, scissors, and a sewing machine, we're going to be learning to make a book cover. For a book cover, you're going to want to use a knit fabric that has a lot of stretch. I went with the spandexy type one because it was what I had around my house, but you could really use any type of knit. With the knit, we'll have another link to our video that talked about using knit before, but you may want to use a smaller needle so that it doesn't really damage your fabric. Knit has a lot of stretch and give to it, so when we're sewing, we're going to be using a zigzag stitch the whole time so that we can be sure that we keep the stretch ability that the fabric has and that we don't break any of the seams. Once you have all your supplies together, you'll be ready to get started to make a book cover. So here's the book I'm going to use to make my book cover. So I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to lay it out over my book with the book opened. And I see that my book is around 14 inches. So I'm going to probably add about 2 inches onto either side for the fabric. So that'll be 18 inches in total. And then whatever the height of my book is, I'm going to add 1 inch below and 1 inch above so that'll be my full piece of fabric for this book cover. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. With the fabric cut out for my book cover, I'm going to go ahead and fold down the top and the bottom piece of fabric so that I get a nice hem and I won't be able to see this raw edge. To get the nice clean look, what I'm doing is I am folding my fabric down, so probably about 1/4 inch, and then I'm folding it one more time so that I can't see the raw edge. So this is what it ends up looking like. And I'm going to continue this all the way across. Now that it's all pinned up, I'm going to take a seam across both the top and the bottom. I'm going to use a zigzag stitch as this fabric has some stretch to it and I want to be sure it still keeps that stretch. Now that I've taken a hem on the top and the bottom of my book cover, it's time to do the same for the sides. For the sides, I'm just going to fold over one time and then pin this up and do the same on the other side. Now it's time to sew it up. So as you can see, there's really no more raw edges. So this is the wrong side of my fabric. So I'm going to flip this over so that we can see the right side. And now it's time to put the little pockets on that the edges of the book are going to go into. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to fold the fabric about 2 inches on each side over and pin it up. And I'll do the same for this side. And then this is going to be what the little pockets are. So now I'm going to take my final seam. I'm going to take a seam right across here, 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 and here. And this is what's going to close up these little pockets so that the edges of our book can go into. So here is my completed book cover. So I trimmed up all the loose threads and any extra little threads that were on the edges. And what I'm going to do now is flip it right side out so that the pockets are on the back, and that would be how we would put it onto the book. And here is my book cover now, all turned the right way. And what I'm going to do is slip it onto my book this way. As you can see, some of the zigzag stitching is visible because I didn't have the correct colored thread, and this is like a multiple color fabric, but I think it looks pretty cool. It kind of has a neat little design on it. So I'm going to slip this on my book and then I'll be ready to go. And here is my completed book cover on its book. So it fits really well, and this is a really great way to protect your books, but also if you have maybe multiple books for different people, you could have different colors of book covers so that you know whose book belongs to who. This is a really simple project and a really great back to school project. If you found this video interesting and you'd like to see more, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thanks.